Kassir, MMA fighter. Welcome.
Hi.
See, I didn't butcher that too bad.
No, you did great. Yeah.
Awesome. So I am super intrigued about you and what you do. So give me a little history about you.
Okay, so my name's Nawal. I grew up in Paso Robles area. I was born in Templeton, grew up here, lived most of my life here. Um, I am a mom. I have two kids, a 9 and 6-year-old.
Awesome.
So I live here with my family, and we all train out of the Pit North in Atascadero. MMA, Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, all of it. We're in there 5 days a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so your husband also does that.
Yeah.
And your kids, are they involved with the sport? I guess it's a family sport, right?
Yeah, family sport for sure. My husband and I both train and fight. And my son, who's 9, he's had a couple jiu-jitsu competitions.
Oh, wow.
So he's really into the grappling jiu-jitsu side of it. My daughter is 6, and she's just starting to get into it. She really likes striking. So she's in there punching and kicking the bag and working on her striking technique. She does some grappling too. They both really love it. It's a great family environment over there at the Pit. So lots of families in there working together.
And so the Pit recently moved. They're over they're in the Adobe Plaza across from like Ted Miles, the car lot.
Yeah, so we did recently move. We're right there on El Camino now by A-Town Diner.
Okay.
It's close to right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great new location right there on El Camino. We've been really liking it.
Very cool. So Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And you said jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
So can you use because you're a fighter? So let me step back. Mm-hmm. So how does a girl get involved other than probably mom? Did your mom and your family do it when you were young?
No.
Okay. So you just one day said, I just want to beat somebody up.
It didn't start that way. My husband got me into it. He started training when we were younger. We've been together since we were teenagers. So like early 20s, he started kind of getting into it. And we just started like in our garage with a punching bag and friends. We'd bring friends over. And
Come on over. I'll just beat you up a little bit. Then we'll barbecue.
Pretty much. He would bring all his friends over and they would just beat each other up in the garage. And it was a lot of fun. And then he joined the Pit. And started doing a little training. And when we had our son, we got him right into it. So he's been training since he was like 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I started training after I had my daughter. And I just initially started in the fitness kickboxing classes, to get fit after having my daughter. And I really loved it. It's just like such a great outlet, both physically and emotionally. And I got really into it. And then, maybe like a year in, I decided to pursue the more advanced classes. And it was just something that clicked for me right away. I really liked it.
Really?
And just a series of just life events. I actually had a pretty tragic event happen in my life. I lost my younger brother in 2016.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And so to work through that, I really delved into martial arts and training. And that's when I started competing and started taking it more seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so your husband started first, mm-hmm. and then, but now you're competing. You just had a show, you just had a competition.
Yeah.
And you were saying back in 2019, that's mm-hmm. kind of when you started getting into the whole, I'm going to compete part of it. And so tell me about that vehicle from 2019 to now.
Yeah. So taking the step from just training to fighting, it's like a huge leap. But the things that you learn in that process of going through a fight camp, the dieting, the physical labor, the mental work you have to do, it's just like nothing else I've ever done. So the process of personal growth that you go through while you're training, while you're preparing for a fight, and then getting to the fight and going through the fight and, accomplishing that, it's just huge. And so the confidence I've gained from doing that, and just the level of self-awareness and self-knowledge that has come from this process has been huge for me. And I really love that journey. So for me, it's not about the fight itself so much as it is about the journey leading up to the fight and everything you go through in that process.
And so tell me how it works when you're preparing for a fight mentally, physically. I mean, you're, like you said, you diet down because you have to fight in a certain weight class.
Yeah.
And then for all of a sudden, something like COVID hits or something like, something that changes your schedule. Now your mind, you have to refocus almost because you've been preparing on this certain date, this time, this is it. And now it's just been pushed out another 2-3 months, maybe, how does that work? How does that play out?
You have to have a lot of mental toughness and mental fortitude, I think, to pursue this lifestyle, because it's ups and downs. It's like one day you feel great and training went great and everything is going good. And the next day you feel like crap, it's a lot of mental ups and downs. And you have to just develop that mental toughness. And that's another thing I really love about the sport is that life is really hard. We go through ups and downs in life. Sometimes tragedy hits, sometimes you have financial hardships, whatever it is. You have to have that mental toughness to kind of push yourself through these experiences. And for me, martial arts is just like a great training, not only for my physical health, but for my mental health as well. Because it gives me that mental fortitude. It's like I've pushed myself to extremes, and I know I can work through that. I know I can work through adversity, and it teaches you a lot about what you can handle and what you can accomplish.
Very cool. And so recently you just won a title, right?
Not a title. It was a Muay Thai fight. I just won. I went up to Lake Tahoe. I took a fight on 10 days notice and went up there, and I beat a girl who had 4 times the fight experience. So it was a big accomplishment.
Cool. Very cool. And so is that your second, third fight? How many?
That was my second fight in a ring. I have competed in 7 or 8, maybe 8 Muay Thai bouts in the last 2 years. But that was my first Muay Thai fight with like elbows, like all full rules Muay Thai. So we fought without headgear, no shin pads, elbows. We could throw elbows and punches and kicks and everything Muay Thai. So that was pretty cool. For people who don't know, Muay Thai is the art of 8 limbs. So as opposed to like kickboxing, you're allowed to elbow, you're allowed to knee, you work the clinch, which means like you're in close and kneeing and elbowing each other. So it was a lot of fun.
And so, I mean, based on the picture of when, your hand's up and the referee's holding your hand up, the girl, next to you looks like she didn't have a very good day. Right. I mean, look at that. I mean, she just looks like she just was not too excited. Like she's going to have hard breathing through her nose for the next few days. Right.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty strong. I have a very aggressive fight style, like a lot of forward pressure. So I don't know. She wasn't quite ready for that.
Wow.
She's used to winning. That was her hometown. She had hometown advantage. She had the height advantage. She had, like I said, 4 more fights than I do.
Wow.
But I go in there. I have big heart. So the way we train at the pit, we're just we're hard workers. We work really hard. We train really hard. We like to be prepared. So.
Cool. And Joe down there is the owner, so he runs a pretty tight ship down there, huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I bet. So you're also a photographer, so you also go and photograph these big fights.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started my business, The Visual Knockout. You can find me on Instagram. I have all my fight photos up there. I started that a little under 2 years ago. So I've been doing photography in this area for over 10 years. I've done weddings, events, portraits, everything. But when I started training and getting really into martial arts, I started taking pictures of my teammates and, taking my cameras to their fights and photographing fights. And it's just really, it's an awesome experience. Like I said, everything I learned through the process of training and competing, I love documenting that in other fighters because it's just such a unique lifestyle. And the people who are drawn to this life path are just some of the most interesting people I've ever met. And they have really amazing stories. And so I've had the opportunity to document fighters doing what they do. And it's just really inspiring.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's your next step?
Yeah. So right now I'm just trying to get through the holidays, but next year I have big goals. I want to compete a lot more. So I plan to fight more, and I plan to take my photography business to the next level. I want to keep photographing fights. I want to keep meeting new athletes and documenting their journeys. And I have a very photo documentary style. I like to tell stories through my photography. And so just, continuing my journey with martial arts, both in competing and photographing the sport. I just plan to do a lot more next year.
But you also have a fight planned out is it January?
No, not January. We'll be traveling. We'll be going to Mexico next month.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a little bit of time off. We're going to go see some family. There might be something lined up in February, end of February.
Okay.
Nothing set in stone yet, but looking at competing probably end of February, maybe early spring if that one doesn't work out.
Cool. So, but you're looking at getting some fights on the books next year.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's your time frame between fights? I mean, you can't fight like every weekend, right?
No, I can't.
Girl can't.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I have a family. Like I said, I have 2 young kids. I homeschool my kids, 6 and 9-year-olds. So I'm also a busy mom. So I can't fight back to back. My husband also competes as well. So we kind of take turns.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Because you guys can't both prepare. You guys kill each other probably in the
It's pretty
kitchen.
hard. We've done it once where we fought the same day.
Oh, jeez.
And it was a cool experience. But it is challenging with 2 kids because they need our time too. So we tend to alternate. So he competed in September. There was a local event that happened. And then I competed just recently in December. So we kind of switch off. But I'm hoping to get, a few fights at least in the books next year. And he'll probably compete as well. And we just kind of play it by ear, see what opportunities come our way.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to watch your fight. Hopefully it's somewhere close that we can
it's
travel
on YouTube.
to.
Everyone can just search my name on YouTube, and you can check out my most recent fight as well as a couple of my other ones.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And so back to your photography. So tell us how somebody gets in touch with you to do the sport photography.
Yeah. So if you want to contact me, I'm on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram, but I'm on Facebook as well. You can find my sports photography at The Visual Knockout, both on Instagram and on Facebook. You could just search The Visual Knockout and you'll find me. And then I'm on Instagram as well. I have my personal account. That's Liberty Mama on there. And then I'm on Facebook too. It's
awesome.
Pretty easy to find me. My name is a unique spelling, so there's not many Nawal Kassirs out there.
Right. Yeah. So you're not going to find many. If you do, we should probably let you know about them.
Yeah.
There might be one of those spam accounts or something.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Noel, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
And really look forward to, maybe even having you on in, 6-8 months or so again, and kind of seeing where 2023 has taken you, and, maybe even get your husband on here.
Yeah, that would be great.
So that would be really cool.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
Cool. Awesome. Well, have a good holiday. Enjoy Mexico, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Want to thank Nawal Kassir for coming on the show and telling us all about the women's MMA and, just the sport alone. So always like to thank our sponsors, which we want to thank Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Rancho Sestero Meat Cutting, Pillar Real Estate, and 805 Customs, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.